Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. I'm going to start with this. Australian XRP community prepares for wave of innovation at XRP Gold Coast 2024. As the official XRP Gold Coast 2024 website reveals, this conference promises to be more than just a gathering of industry experts, innovators, investors, and enthusiasts. It will also serve as a premier platform to explore the ever-evolving world of XRP ledger ecosystem and blockchain technology. I think we're going to get a lot of big announcements coming from this in the very near future. They're going to talk about NFTs. And again, that market is still ready to explode. I mean, we're not even close to where NFTs are going to go in the future. They're starting to gain use case and utility. They're also going to talk about tokenization, which is the next big thing in blockchain. First it was cross-border payments, now it's tokenization. Plus they're also going to talk about interoperability, which is a must-have. And you know, everybody's so concentrated right now on why the price isn't moving. Why is my investment not skyrocketing yet? Why am I still sitting here waiting for it to happen? Well, it's because everything takes time to build out. Tokenization is going to be something that you're going to want to keep an eye on even into the future, because it's going to be one of those industries that grow over time. Same thing with cross-border payments. Look how long it took for Ripple to go out there and make all these partnerships with the banks. Later, they're going to be integrated with Swift. All of a sudden, you start seeing the price of XRP pop off because of that. It's going to happen on a slow phase in, and then all of a sudden, boom, XRP takes off. Kind of like that flip of the switch moment that everybody talks about. I could see that because it looks very likely. And you know, the world you have to watch also. You have to see what's going on everywhere else to make a determination on when this is going to happen. Because a lot of world events still need to play out as well. That's why I always tell you, like never before has the real world and the crypto world come together the way it is right now. Because we're invested in the technology that's going to drive the real world, the fourth industrial revolution, the digital age. Ripple versus SEC court update, why a ruling can take even longer. That's probably the one thing nobody ever wants to hear. This can take even longer because you're an investor. And I get it. You get impatient. I do too. But I learned patience over time. I no longer worry about the little things. If anything, I look at the positive side of things. You know, if the case takes longer to settle, it gives me more time to accumulate XRP. But one thing Johnny Deaton points out is this: Ripple isn't the only one waiting. However, in the Thor Equities case, also before Judge Torres, the reply briefs were also filed in December. Judge Torres hasn't yet ruled. Deaton notes, highlighting that Ripple lawsuit is not an isolated incident. What is this judge doing? I mean, what is she really doing all day? Why is she not ruling on these cases? Getting it done and over with. But again, it looks like we're going to be waiting a little bit longer. Then there's the escrow that everybody talks about. People are now saying it could be locked away forever, pushing the price of XRP. Well, in a tweet, Johnny Deaton said this: locking Ripple's escrow forever will never happen. The SEC didn't seek a preliminary injunction. The SEC seeks $1.3 billion and a permanent injunction from Ripple and its executives from violating Section 5 in the future. So there you have it. They're not going to seize the escrow or lock up the escrow. Is Ripple's case against the SEC finally coming to an end? Ripple's CTO David Schwartz addressed the prolonged delays in the Ripple case. So I know waiting is annoying, and we'd all love to have a ruling on summary judgment motions as soon as possible, but I wouldn't think anything was wrong, unusual, or strange until at least the end of September, which I've been saying for a while now. The fall looks more likely than ever, because I think this Christmas is going to be very big for XRP holders, because I'm looking at the other world events that are taking place right now. We'll talk more about that at the end of this video. Crypto needs to get Democrats on board to advance U.S. policy. As legal battles heat up and crypto enforcement shows no signs of slowing, industry members and lobbyists are ramping up efforts to appeal to lawmakers, particularly Democrats. John Rizzo, Senior Vice President for Public Affairs at Clyde Group, told Blockworks the leading progressives, including Senator Elizabeth Warren, now hold a position on crypto that is indistinguishable from some of the largest banking lobbies in the world. And that's what's going on. The big banks are controlling the politicians. It has become partisan, and it's dangerous to the industry. Because if you're a partisan issue, the livelihood of your industry is subject to the whims of an election. And that's why I've been saying for a while now, 2024 elections, you're going to hear more about crypto than you have ever heard about crypto before. Every single politician is going to bring it up when they're talking back and forth. That's going to be one of the biggest talking points. And you got to vote in a way that helps your investment. You know, we have so many people out there running this time around, and they're all running with the same idea. On one hand, you have anti-crypto. On the other hand, you have pro-crypto. Most younger people are going to go with whoever's pro-crypto because they see it as technology of the future as well. They see it as no longer being traditional banks. That era is coming to an end. And, you know, people still don't seem to understand that. These politicians are there long past their due date. Let's just put it that way. Ripple secures first Cbdc award as the best sustainability initiative for digital currency. And that's what the award looks like. So the award, bestowed by Currency Research, a leading global resource for central banks and their suppliers, recognized Ripple's exceptional advancements in digital currency and hailed their best sustainability initiative. In this tweet, Welfare proudly highlighted Ripple's unwavering commitment to sustainability, a core value ingrained in the company since its inception. Then they go on to talk more about CBDCs and where they see them going in the future. Right now, every single country is pointing in this direction. But then he also talks about tokenization is the future of real estate. And I think so as well. Because right now, the commercial real estate market, it looks horrible. Because more and more people are working at home. Eventually, that's going to pop fully, and it's going to be like a domino effect. It's going to take the residential real estate market with it. That's why tokenization is so important. But at the same time, they're pushing for CBDCs all around the world. And it's very important that you pay attention to that as well, because that's something that will affect every single one of us. U.S. lawmakers call on Department of Justice, SEC, to investigate Promethium, citing suspicions. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because it's about time the Department of Justice steps in. It's about time Congress steps in, because Promethium is a Chinese-based company. They're tied to that Huazhang blockchain and Hashkey digital asset group, both China-based entities, and they have ties to the Chinese Communist Party. And I think the reason we see Promethium being talked about is because, again, the SEC working with Promethium is all about Gary being tied to China, Joe Biden tied to China, Hunter Biden tied to China. Do you see where this is going? They're looking out for China instead of looking out for the United States. And I think Congress is really starting to take a good look at what's going on. And that's good for me and you, because they could step in and get laws created around crypto. But again, that takes time as well. Promethium's stance is clear. There's a path forward for digital assets in the U.S. through the current regulatory framework set up by the federal securities laws. Hear Aaron Kaplan's testimony in front of House Financial Committee here. And he fully lied in front of Congress. This guy went out there and told blatant lies because there's no clear path forward. If there was a path forward, Ripple would not be tied up in a lawsuit with the SEC. Yellen says our economy has fallen and begs the BRICS countries to let the USA join them. That is not what she said. This is what she said. Take a listen to this.
I believe that my bilateral meetings, which totaled about 10 hours over 2 days, served as a step forward in our effort to put the U.S.-China relationship on a surer footing. I've met with Premier Li, Vice Premier He, Finance Minister Liu, People's Bank of China head Pan, and other senior officials to discuss important pillars of our economic relationship. We were able to learn more about each other's economies and policy choices, which I believe is vital as the world's two largest economies.
But she didn't say that our economy has fallen, but she's worried about our economy into the future. I see something much darker here, and we'll talk about that in a minute. As someone who left Bank of America decades ago after a different scandal and class action involving fee abuse against customers, I am utterly unsurprised. Bank of America accused of opening fake accounts and charging illegal junk fees. And again, this is the same lady who wants you to trust in these banks. These banks have a lot of shady business going on behind the scenes, and they're not on safe ground. They're on the razor's edge. At any moment, another bank can collapse. We're not out of the woods there yet. And I think more consolidations are going to happen. And that could possibly be a major event. And that could actually end up being a black swan at some point also. But when you're in crypto, you got to look for all that kind of stuff to happen. You got to almost expect it to happen. Because, you know, everybody is expecting a massive internet outage. They're also expecting a massive power outage. But, you know, it could be something much smaller that sets off a domino effect into something much bigger. And I even think Janet Yellen, by her talking to China right now, I think she knows that this country is in it's not on steady ground anymore. Not like it used to be. Because this right here is still coming. Heads up, the BRICS are rolling out a gold-backed currency next month to challenge the dollar. If you haven't looked into Project Sandman or Operation Sandman before, you need to check that out. That's a whole lot of countries ready to send back all our debt, like overnight, which would send the U.S. into hyperinflation, which is one reason I think they created FedNow to go live exactly right before this event. I think everything is playing out the way they want it to play out right now. Cbdc microchips must be under the skin to participate in society. The World Economic Forum has declared that all citizens must be implanted with a Cbdc microchip in the very near future in order to be able to fully participate in society and do basic things such as purchase food or water. You know, I never wanted to talk about the mark of the beast system, but it looks like that's what this is now. Because to get basic necessities, you have to agree to get the chip. And I don't like it at all. And I'm never getting that chip. But the reason I think XRP is going to skyrocket in the fall is because in August, Operation Sandman Phase 2 goes into effect. Janet Yellen meeting with China right now shows worry and concern on behalf of the U.S. Again, maybe FedNow morphs into a full-blown Cbdc sometime in the fall. Everything looks like it's headed in that direction, but again, that's my opinion. I'm just showing you the facts of what's going on around this, and I'm trying to interpret those facts at the same time. But what's your opinion? Because you know, I always tell you, I'm not always right, and I'm open to your opinion. Sometimes you send me in a whole different direction, and I'm fine with that. I like to know what other people are seeing, because what I see is this. Every single country right now on the verge of a Cbdc. At the same time, the US dollar could be possibly collapsing out based on what the BRICS are doing. And FedNow fits in perfectly in the timeline. Everything in the timeline is pointing towards the fall. That's what I'm getting at. Sorry if I got a little bit off page there, and my internet seemed to go down in the middle of this video as well. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.